And joining us now on Encounter is Father Michael White, who is a co-author of Rebuilt and also a sort of companion guide as well, Tools for Rebuilding. And we're happy to have you with us.
Thanks very much.
Maybe the book came out about a year ago, and then the companion guide just a little bit, a few months later than that too. But I just wanted to get your thoughts, your experiences since the book came out, what it's been like for you. I know you've done a lot of traveling and bringing your rebuilt message to a lot of parishes around the country.
Well, we've had an opportunity and really a great privilege to be able to travel around the country and to meet so many people who love their parishes and are just working very hard on growing healthy parishes.
Maybe if you could talk about a parish that might realize that it's struggling or things aren't working well for them. What would be the first step, would you say, for a parish? Is it just to recognize that they're struggling? Or?
Well, our experience is that an awful lot of parishes have come to that recognition and are very much at the moment or the season of life where they know it's a different order of business at hand. My basic advice is do something, try something. Don't give up hope, don't give up heart. Dig in and try something.
Yeah. And I know with there was 75 tools, I believe, in the second book as well. But you have many great suggestions. What do you find maybe is your favorite, or one that you think is the most receptive, I guess, for parishes?
We talk in Rebuild and Tools for Rebuilding about hospitality, and that's my personal favorite. And I think it is the most accessible, and it costs nothing. When you bring this message to parishes and you travel around, they talk about tools and rebuilding, and do people get afraid or a little hesitant when they hear those words, or are just afraid to take a chance to do, because they might think it's just so much work that needs to be done? Well, I think that people can sometimes become very discouraged because their best efforts are not reaping fruit in their parishes. And that's a far greater burden, I think, than the prospect of trying something new. All of us are resistant to change and to new things, especially in church world. But the prospect of really being fruitful and successful in your ministry efforts is worth it.
And you talk about, too, in the book, too, about getting people out of the pews. What are some good ways to do that, too? I know, and especially now, I mean, the main reason I hear, too, in my parish, too, is people just don't have time. They can't, they can't afford to take time out of their busy lives.
We talk a lot about that in both books. It's a question of creating a strategy that's going to work in your community. It's preaching it consistently from the pulpit, but not in a way that's nagging or needy, instead in a way that's motivating and inspirational. And taking the ministry and the service that we're looking for from our parishioners and breaking it down into manageable pieces that people really can undertake. For instance, at our parish, the basic commitment to ministry is 2 hours twice a month. People can do that. The other thing that we would say is that as a parish staff, as a pastor, I need to be using my volunteer ministers' time well, and I need to be setting them up for success. When you set your ministers up for success, they'll be happy to come back and give you even more time.
Have you heard from parishes that have implemented some of your programs, some of your ideas, and what's that been like?
Sure.
Yeah.
By no means does everybody agree with everything we have to say.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly okay. We don't mind that at all, as long as you're not mean or grumpy about it. But all we want to do is get conversations started. And if you read, our 75 great ideas and you think they're not so great and you have other ideas, good for you. Try those and see if they can work for you.
What's it like when you hear a great response from a parish?
It's thrilling.
Yeah.
It's thrilling. And the best responses that we receive are when a pastor or a parish minister or even somebody from the pew just says, "We read your book. It's motivated us to try and get started to do something.
That's
We
great.
love that.
Yeah, that's great. It must be wonderful to hear. Well,